Luka Doncic is currently leading the NBA in scoring, while doing it at a pretty efficient rate. In this video, we're going to do a deep dive on the film to see exactly how he's doing it. Now the first thing I want to look at is Luka's outside shooting. Doncic is currently averaging a career high in 3-point attempts, while also shooting a career high 38%. And like we all know, a vast majority of Luka's shots from behind the line come off the dribble.
Timer winding down.
Doncic is obviously well known for spamming the step back, where he's typically drifting towards his left and separating off his right foot. You'll see him here working off the screen towards his left, and notice how Luka is going to skip off his right foot to then replant it to create space for his jumper. Now, when Luka's playing in isolation or pick and roll, defenses are obviously well aware of his go-to move, but every game, Doncic is still able to generate these looks pretty much at will, and that's because Luka's able to disguise and set up his step back in a variety of ways. You'll see him here playing one-on-one at the top of the key, and notice how Luka is going to take this dribble and glide out towards his right, but pay close attention to his feet. Watch how Luka stops his momentum by planting his right foot, to then separate back towards his left with a shot. You'll see Luka hit the same move here in transition, where he's gonna again put the ball in his right hand and skip up, to then transfer his weight to his right foot to separate. I also think Luka's strength and stability on the perimeter has gotten much better this year, being able to work his man down below the 3 to then create space back behind the line and rise up for a stable jumper. You'll see Doncic here drop down into this dribble combo, and notice how Luka's momentum is heavily being pulled downhill, but watch how Luka is going to sink his weight back and take 2 big steps behind the line to then rise up for a stable in-rhythm jumper. Now on this play, you'll see Luka refuse the screen and flow into his step back, but notice how Doncic transfers his weight to his right foot on the crossover, then brings that same foot around to separate off it for the step back. This move here is pretty tough, where Luka initially starts to play posting up, but from this spot, notice how Doncic sinks all his weight to his right foot to transition into a step back.
Still have 2 or 3 more trips down the floor. They got score.
Doncic also likes to use his physicality to create space for these outside looks. On this play, you'll see Luka transfer the ball between, then bring his right foot across, and put his inside shoulder into the defense's chest to give them a slight bump as he separates. Now Luka is obviously well established as an elite outside scorer, and that scoring threat in return forces the defense to step up and guard him from beyond the 3, which then opens up his downhill scoring. Now at 6'7" and over 230 pounds, Luka has the ability to physically overwhelm pretty much any backcourt defender. Notice on this play how Grayson Allen tries to step up and get in Luka's airspace, but watch how easily Doncic rips to his right and steps through contact to extend into a finish. And because Doncic has so much size and strength with the ball, he's pretty much unaffected by physical and aggressive defense. Notice on this play how Luka's dealing with another hand-checking defender, but as Doncic gets into this left-hand drive, watch him veer back into this defender and move him all the way across the paint, to then lift this rotating big up with a shot fake and find a finishing window. When playing around the basket, Doncic is currently one of the most efficient deep paint scorers across the league, and this is where everything again comes back to his strength, stability, and body control. All those physical tools allow Doncic to be an extremely patient and methodical scorer around the basket. You'll see him here turn the corner off the screen, and notice how Luka is going to attack this big's body. Then he's going to decelerate by driving his weight down into his left foot, which causes him to pop up vertical into a finish while the defense is stumbling backwards. You'll see Luka use that same deceleration on this play, where he initially beats the first line of defense and he's coming downhill against this shot blocker, and watch Doncic again sink his weight down as he steps to the rim, which allows him to slow down into his finish while the shot blocker is fully elevated. And notice how Luka rises up into his layup while the defense is coming down. which both gives him a window to finish and draws the foul. This play here is tough, where this big tries to step up to meet Luka at the level of the screen, and Doncic is going to plant his outside foot to get him leaning towards the left, opening up this crossover back towards the middle. And notice how Doncic is going to throw off the timing of this big by again driving his weight down into his left foot, causing the big to fly by, opening up an angle to finish. Luka can also use these deceleration steps off a live dribble, and this is another way he can change his pace and throw off the timing of the defense. You'll see him here pick up a head of steam from half court, and notice how Doncic is going to sink his weight down into his right foot and lift his chest up, which gets the defense stuck in the mud, allowing Luka to extend into an uncontested layup. Doncic is also very comfortable scoring in the paint off the 2 feet, and this is where everything again comes back to his strength and body control. On this play, notice how easily Luka moves this big off his spot by simply lowering his shoulder and coming to a jump stop. Then he jumps back into this trailing defender to keep his space into his finish. Now on top of all those physical tools, Luka also has an elite package off the dribble. One of his favorite moves is the simple left to right between blow-by, where Luka is able to get the defense leaning across his frame, allowing him to quickly change direction to create an attacking angle.
Luka, change of direction, got him past Generates. Williams! What?
Now what really sets this move up is Luka's left-hand step back. Defenses are well aware that Doncic loves to separate off his right foot, but when they overplay the shot and sit on Luka's left side, that opens up this between back towards Luka's right. On this play, you'll see Kevin Durant switch on to Luka, and notice how heavily Durant is shading his left side, giving Doncic a clean driving angle back towards the middle. Luka is also very good at setting this move up with pace. Notice here how Doncic is going to lift his chest up, which gets this defender to completely open up his stance, giving Luka a clear top foot to attack. Look at this play. You'll see Doncic cross the ball to his left and float back behind the line, and notice how that pulls this defender up towards the 3, giving Doncic the leverage to attack back towards his right. So with the ball, Luka always has this dual threat of being able to both shoot the ball from range and put the ball down to attack downhill. And both of those elements in Luka's game feed into each other. If the defense sags off him and tries to take away his driving, that's going to open up his outside scoring. But in return, if the defense tries to press up and run Luka off the line, you're now dealing with one of the best deep paint scorers across the league. And on top of all that, Doncic also has a really good mid-range game.
Certainly noted. Doncic draws the contact and scores it.
For all players across the league who attempt at least 4 mid-range pull-ups per game, Doncic has the 5th highest field goal percentage. Now Luka's not a Kevin Durant or DeMar DeRozan type of in-between scorer, where those guys primarily use their height and high release point to elevate over the defense. Doncic instead uses his physicality to work his way to spots, to then bump and separate into his jumper. You'll see him here drive to his left, then come to a 2-foot stop. And instead of trying to rise over this contest, notice how Luka is going to create some additional space by bumping this defender back, which gives him a window to rise up. Another big element in Luka's in-between scoring is his ability to always be stable and on balance with the ball. There's many times where Luka gets stuck picking up his dribble, but that strength and stability still makes him a constant scoring threat.
Here against San Antonio, man, those are some dance moves.
On this play, you'll see Nick Claxton play picture-perfect defense by first sliding with Luka's initial burst, absorbing this contact, then staying down on the shot fake. Now most players from Luka's spot here are dead, but watch how Doncic is going to create space by pivoting his left foot forward, to then bring it back and drift into this fadeaway. When getting into these shots, I also think Doncic has some ridiculous touch, being able to fight through contact on his release and put up these soft pillows at the rim. Watch him here drop down into this combo off the dribble. And when the defense tries to get physical and bump Luka off his driving line, notice how he immediately rises up into his shot that hits nothing but net. So overall, Luka Doncic has the ability to score in high volume at all three levels. He's shooting a career high from behind the three, while also being one of the most efficient paint scorers across the league. And he can also generate mid-range looks pretty much at will. And on top of all that scoring, Luka is also one of the best passers across the league. If you want to support this channel directly, feel free to check out my Patreon for exclusive breakdowns. But regardless, I still appreciate you stopping by, and I'll see you on the next one. The kid's here.